think at this point I got my first wind warning. Pushed on a little bit more. Then I got another wind warning, and then I got a insufficient power warning, which I'd never seen before, and the drone started to go backwards. Okay, so before I quickly get into the test footage, I just want to clear the air because my last video I made about the Mavic Mini, I suggested that it might not be the ideal first drone for most beginners. And a lot of people took that to mean that I don't like this drone. I do like this drone, I really like this drone. For the money, you probably can't get a better drone. I just didn't think it was ideal for the majority of beginners for different reasons. And I'm going to come back to that and follow that up at a later date. But for now, we're talking about wind. Now, I saw a few videos after this come out with people claiming they've tested it in high winds and saying it performed really, really well. So I was curious to see what this would do. I took it down to local Lockshore on a day when the forecast had given sort of 15 to 20 mile an hour winds. This is rated to resist winds at 8 meters per second, which is 17 miles an hour. So I thought that's going to be right on the edge. It's also a wind speed at which, with the Mavic Pro, I would have had total confidence to fly. So I took the drone down. I brought my my wind meter with me down to the Lockshore, tested the wind, and at ground level, the largest gusts I found were just about 15 miles an hour. So it didn't seem that bad. So I'm going to run through the video I shot so you can see what happened. So immediately, here it is, immediately after taking off, it was really struggling to maintain its position. Now, I kind of hid behind this container shed because I thought it might offer a bit of wind resistance, but you can see in this other shot how much it was wiggling around. So I started flying then towards the river. My plan was to get up over the top of the river and then fly out towards the open lock. So I got up to 12 meters, it was only 12 meters in height, and then headed out towards the river. Now there were no wind warnings at this point. I could see it was, was dancing, struggling about in the wind a bit. And it all seemed to go okay, just until I got past this tree. I think at this point I got my first wind warning. Pushed on a little bit more. Then I got another wind warning, and then I got a insufficient power warning, which I'd never seen before, and the drone started to go backwards. So at that point, nah. Turned around, brought the drone back. And landed it. So that was interesting because the wind must have gone up significantly from ground level, even just at 12 meters. I mean, it literally stopped in the air and started going backwards. I've never had that even with the Mavic Pro. The Mavic Pro is rated to resist wind up to 22 miles an hour, and it has a max speed of 40, whereas the Mini has a max speed of 29 miles an hour. But one earlier test I did with this drone made me realize that it's probably more susceptible than a heavier drone to what I would call turbulent air. So I was out running in around this valley, and there's a bit in the valley where there's this really nice bridge that goes over a river, and I wanted to get this top-down shot. There's a really self-indulgent shot of me running over the top of the bridge. And the valley, and it's just at the top of the valley, there's a cliff nearby with a waterfall, and there's these sort of large mounds of rock nearby as well. So I think the air was quite turbulent, and again, that was a day where the wind forecast was like 10 to 15, and when I got the drone in the air, it just started doing this. I've never seen a drone look so unstable. I mean, fair play to it, it actually stayed there, but it bounced around. And again, that's a situation where the Mavic Pro would handle fine. But all that to say, I mean, what to expect? It is a absolutely tiny feather-like drone, and the fact that it's even able to get into the air in those conditions anyway is pretty impressive. Based on that test, I think now my confidence to bring this drone would be based on the forecast not being any higher than up to 10 miles an hour, with maybe gusts of up to 15 is probably the maximum that I'd be confident to go flying with the DJI Mavic Mini. and that is the wind resistance test. I will be doing more tests with this drone. I'm going to be comparing it to the Mavic Pro, and maybe the Spark, and possibly the Mavic Air as well. So if you want to see those videos, you can subscribe. If you want to see that video that everybody got very angry about, you can go back and watch it as well, where I try to claim that this isn't the ideal drone for beginners, and a lot of people thought otherwise.